Hello, welcome to Cloud Learning channel. In this module, we will learn about Google BigQuery Cloud Data Warehouse, and we will discuss about what is BigQuery and how does BigQuery work, and how to use this BigQuery dataset. And we will also talk about how do we work with the datasets and work with the tables, views, and how do we query the tables in BigQuery. And also we'll talk about how to load the data and pricing and what are the benefits. And BigQuery is a Google Cloud data warehouse. So let's talk about what is BigQuery. BigQuery is a fully managed enterprise data warehouse that helps us manage and analyze our data with built-in features like machine learning, geospatial analysis, and business intelligence. And BigQuery is a serverless architecture that lets us to use the SQL queries to answer our requirements, our biggest questions with zero infrastructure management. So I'll show you how we can use a SQL to get the results from the BigQuery tables. So we can just use the ANSYS SQL. And BigQuery is a scalable and distributed analysis engine that lets us query terabytes in seconds and petabytes in minutes. So if you have, let's say you have like a 10 terabytes or 200 terabytes, but if you run queries against your table in that big volume data, but it just takes few seconds to return the data. And also if you have a petabytes data, 5 petabytes or 2 petabytes, and it doesn't take long. It just takes few minutes, and I will show you how quick it is. So in this session, I will use a public data set that provided by Google Cloud. So I will show you how we can query against that table and look at all the data. Let's talk some more details about this BigQuery. And BigQuery maximizes the flexibility by separating the compute engine that analyzes our data from our storage choices. So we can load data from a cloud storage, or we can load from a on-prem, or any server you pick. You want to load data from Amazon S3, we can establish connection and load data into Google Cloud. And if you want to load data from Microsoft SQL Server or Azure, we can do that, and Snowflake. And also, if you have anything SAP, Oracle, or any on-prem connections or REST API, we can load that data into this BigQuery. We can store and analyze our data within BigQuery and or use BigQuery to assess our data where it lives. And BigQuery interfaces include a Google Cloud Console interface and the BigQuery command line tool. So I will do everything in this module. I will do everything using Google Cloud Console. So I can show you how we can create a data set and how the create a project IDs and how we can query. So everything I will do using the Google Cloud Console. Let's go to benefits. The BigQuery again insights with real-time and predictive analytics. So query streaming data in real time and get up to date information on all our business processes and predict business outcomes easily with built-in machine learning and without the need to move data. And we can access data and share insights with ease. So we can securely access and share analytical insights in our organization with a few clicks. And also we can easily create a stunning report and dashboards using popular business intelligence tools out of the box. And here I list down all the features. Serverless is serverless and is real-time analytics and natural language processing, standard SQL, and automatic backup and easy restore in case of natural disaster. So we can easily restore if you deploy the BigQuery in multiple regions, so we can access from the other region. And it can handle the petabyte scale and flexible pricing models and foundation for AI, BI, and always free access. Okay, so let me log into a Google Cloud Console. Then I will talk more about the data sets and views project and how we query and how BigQuery process the data and how we can connect to other source systems and access the data or load the data. I logged into Google Cloud using Google Cloud Console. And here on the screen, you see that the project ID is associated with the Google uh, Cloud BigQuery. And again, if you may have a question, so how do we access the BigQuery? Just go here on the navigation menu, click on the navigation menu, and here you see that a BigQuery, and just click on that BigQuery. If you don't see it, then you can also go here on the search, just look for BigQuery, then you should be able to get that like no Google query. Yeah, the BigQuery, sorry, BigQuery. So let me talk about what are the data sets. So data sets are logical containers that use to organize and control access to our BigQuery resources. Data sets are similar to schemas in database systems. If you are working in a PostgreSQL or SQL Server, so there you see the schema name. So the data sets are pretty much like a schemas. So most BigQuery resources that we create that includes tables, views, functions, and procedures are created inside in these data sets. And connections and jobs are exceptions. So these are associated with projects rather than the data sets. So here, if you see that I have a couple of data sets here. These are pretty much like schemas, but if you look at it like air travel and hurricane, these are tables. So we'll come back here again how we can query and how do we look at the table. And before I move here, so I want to talk about the projects. So we just discussed like the connections and jobs are exceptions, and they're all associated with the projects rather than the data sets. Okay, so let me talk about what is a project. Every data set is associated with a project. To use Google Cloud, we must create at least one project. And if you see that right on the top of the page, so here we see that like project. So if you want to work in Google Cloud, or if you want to use Google Cloud, so you must have a project ID. Or how we can get that? So you can just click a project, and everything like you can put inside that project. So we must create at least one project. And projects from the basis for creating, enabling, and using all Google Cloud services. And when we perform operations on our BigQuery data, such as running a query or ingesting data into a table, we create a job. So a job is always associated with a project, but it doesn't have to run in the same project that contains the data. So in fact, a job might reference tables from data sets in multiple projects. And each project has a cloud billing account attached to it. The cost are accrued to a project are billed to that account. So if we use on-demand pricing, so our queries are billed to the project that runs the query. So now we just talked about the projects and data sets. And again, data sets are logical containers that are used to organize and control access to our BigQuery resources. So a data set has a location. So when we create a table, the table data is stored in the location of the data set before we create tables for production data. So we need to make a location also when we want to store this data. And we cannot change the location of a data set after it is created. So please careful before you choose the location. So once you create, you cannot change the location. So let's go to the data sets and look at the tables and how do we query against the tables. Here I have a couple of data sets that exist under project. So now how do I access my table? So in each data set, we have a table. So here in this data set, I don't have any table, but if I want to create a table, I can create a table. So, and here you can just select like, how do you want to create a table? Like, do you want to access a file from cloud storage, or do you want to access data from Amazon S3 or block storage? So here you see all the resources available. Again, if you want to know how we can create a table and load the data, please go to my previous videos. There I created a module how we can load data from a cloud storage and how we create a data set project and load the data. In this module, I just want to give you like, overall idea how this BigQuery works. Like, what does it have? Like, what are the features and how we can create tables and how we can create data sets and query. So here I'm just giving an example, like, we just discussed. We need to pick the source and the project that we want to keep this data set, and also the table name we need to select, and the table type, and also schema, and also we discussed like, we need to choose this we need to choose the location. Okay, so now I already have a couple of tables exist here, so let me look at the table. So I have a hurricane table here. So let me see what I have in this hurricane table. And here I have a list of fields called like, I have a month, average, and also the years. Like, it's about hurricane data. And if you want to get like, if you want to query against this table and see, and also always you can edit the schema if you want. Just click on edit, and then you can add the description if you want. Okay, so let me close this, and now we will go to query tab, and we will run the sample query and see what we have in this table. So here we can use, as I mentioned earlier, we can use the ancestry. Well, just select star from the project, and remember this is the project associated with this data set. You see that data set 101, it comes under this project. So we have project dot dataset 01, and where this table exists inside the dataset. So hurricane, and just like, limit 1,000, but I don't have that much data. But if you don't want this, just like, remove it and then just run the query. So now I have all the data exists in this table appeared here. So I have total, I think, 9 records. And here you see that, like, list of months and all the years, like, how we get, like, the hurricanes, like, average, all the details here. So you can see it. And also, if you want to know, like, this is just a small table inside a data set I created, but maybe you have a question like, how we can access the big volume data. Like earlier I mentioned, like, we can get the results if it is terabytes in seconds and petabytes are in minutes. So let me go through that, and then we will talk about more how we can explore the data, how we can save these results and using this a BigQuery in Google Cloud Console. Okay, let me just give you. So here the Google Cloud provides some public data set that we can explore, and all these data sets are created under this BigQuery public data. And here you see that external connection, so you can make external connection. So let me quickly show you how we can make external connection. I'm not going to make connection, but I'll just give you options. So here you see that the external, we need to select the source, and it could be Google Cloud, or like, look at all the additional sources available, or Google Drive or Amazon S3 data transfer, or data stream, or Informatica data loader. So all these, like, you can use this option and create a connection. external connection. And how do we create a new data set? Again, like data set is like a schema, just like a schema. So if you want to create a data set, create a table, we can create a new data set. Let me just show you how we can create a data set. So here I'm creating the data set under project 01372617 that is already created. So I want to use that, or you can change it if you want. If you want to change the project ID, so you can create a new one and assign that project ID. But I have only one project that I created, and I want to keep this data set inside this project. So now I want to create a data set and call the name as data set 03. And then data location, once we select, we cannot change it. And now I want to keep everything US East 1, South Carolina. And if you want to enable the table expression, you can do it like, the maximum default maximum table is. So you can put like, I want to keep it like, 2000. But if you don't want to enable this, just like, uncheck this and create a data set. And if you want to look at the advanced options, you can. So here you can use a Google managed encryption key or customer managed encryption key. Okay, so now I'll just hide these advanced option and create a data set. So this is how we can create a data set. And again, I will go back to the public data set. And here we see the terabytes of data. And let me just select one of the America Health rankings. So here we have table doesn't have a schema, but we can query directly what it has. Like you can also look at the details, the table ID, and the table expression number and the data location. So let me query against this table and open a new tab. Open a new tab and select star from this project from this table, and just now run the data. So here I think looks like it is not available. One second, let me just query. Okay, so the other one is not available. Now let me use this AHR American Health. The other table is not available, but this table is available. And here we can look at the edit schema. This is again like the Google provides Google Cloud provides this public data. Said that if you want to run a few queries, or if you want to learn about how this BigQuery works and datasets work, tables work, so you can use this data set, and also you can use this to query or build reports or export the results and everything you can do it. So here we have a list of fields available: edition, report type, measure name, state name. So now let me query against this table and select sort from this table, and let's look at the data what we have here. And here we see that the edition and the report type, health disparities, and measure name. We can see all the data and the state names and the value and source date and the source. Okay, now if we want to see how many records exist in this table. So and you see that how quick we can access data from this Google query. So it's very huge data. And let me just run the const star. So here we have 18,000 records in this table. And if you run any query, if you want to see the data, it doesn't even take a lot of seconds. It is very quick. So now I'm going to run this query and see the results. It came very quick, less than a second or 2 seconds. So this is how we can query against the tables. And if you want to look at other details, you can also look at the execution detail. Let me query against another data set. So let's look at the baseball data set that we have. So, and if you want to get any details about the data set that you're going to query, that data set created and data set ID last modified and the description. So now I will expand I will go to this baseball data set and see what are the tables inside. So here we have a games post wide and a games wide and the schedule. So now if I want to query against this table, let me just go to new tab and just select some and see the data inside this schedules table. So here we see all the list of game IDs and season ID and the year and what type of game, if it is a day night or night game or daytime and the duration. And now let me look at how many records exist in this table. So we have about 2,431 records exist. And again, if you want to explore, like, if you want to use more data sets, like, how this BigQuery works, you can just log into Google Cloud Console and just add this BigQuery public data set and just like, explore all these data sets and table so that you can get a better idea. So now, earlier I mentioned I will show you how do we save the results once we query against this table. So we have this export options in other tools or other provider. And also here we have option how to save the results. So if you see on the screen, I see a save results option. Click on save results and a CSV, Google Drive or CSV local file or JSON local file and whatever format you want to store, and you can select that option and save the results. Okay, so now and how do we explore the data? So we can explore with sheets. If you want to explore this with a BI tool called Looker Studio, and you can visualize these results and also create a live dashboards from this data. Not this data, let's say, like, let me go back. And these are the data sets I created, the sample, and we just queried against this table. So now I see a data from my table. Now I want to explore more and then create dashboards and provide to business user. So I have options here, explore with the sheets. So we can analyze big data with a live connection in a familiar spreadsheet tool, or we can visualize result and create live dashboards, or we can also explore and visualize with Python. So this is in a preview option, but it will be available maybe soon or later. Google will announce that. But pretty much we covered everything in this module, like, what is a BigQuery and what are the benefits and what is the data set, what is a project, and how do we create table and how do we establish connection and how do we query against the table, and we discussed about the execution time also. But again, if you want to find out, like, how to load data into this BigQuery table, please go to my previous videos that that will help you how to load data into this BigQuery table. If you have any questions on a BigQuery, how to create a data set, how to create a table, and how to create external connection, how do we explore data, how do we save the results, and how do you connect to Looker Studio and access this BigQuery? If you have any questions about these topics, and please do not hesitate to post your questions in the comment section, and I will try to reply as soon as possible. And if you like this video, please subscribe and share the channel. Thank you.